Do you have any idea how important this is, man, for me, dude, to have you in a room like this, to be able to talk like this about the life you've lived?
Man, it's a blessing.
It means a lot to me, man, because I don't feel like I'm having a conversation with an artist alone or a businessman alone or even a human being alone. You're all of that at the nth degree. So to start this conversation in earnest, before we get into all of the incredible assets at your disposal that you built around you, Sean Combs, the human being, are you practicing right now? Are you in tune right now? Are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say this year is probably when I really had my breakthrough. When you're out here and you're dealing with, especially in the record business, and you're traveling and there's so many people screaming, and just the different blessings that a successful recording artist has in front of them, you could get caught up in the matrix. It could snatch you up, and where you're like walking around and you're running and you're doing these different things, but you're not completely present. You're not connected. You're not connected. You're not, you could get, in the beginning you're connected, but then once you get like 15, 20 years down to success, there's parts where you get like disconnected and swallowed up in the matrix of just everything going on, and especially with the internet, it just becomes overwhelming. And I just had to strip back and get back to basics, I just, I remember as a kid, I was walking around and I would walk around by myself. I was like more of a loner when I was a kid. But I didn't have an imaginary friend. I had that voice within inside me. I had God that I would talk to. I would have these real conversations all day, all night, and they were all different types of conversations. And when you call that voice and you can't really hear it, that's when it's like a time that you gotta like kind of slow down and make sure that you
listen for it again.
And reconnect with that voice. So, just those things that sometimes people could say, getting older and getting wiser. But I just think right now, like we've all been shared information about like our dieting and our eating and just like how that affects us as far as our performance, and just, the time for ourselves and loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves.
Well, you don't think about that when you're young, because when you first start out with all you have are these dreams and these ambitions, and you have the people around you, and you collect people who feel the same way as you, and you get bigger and stronger and faster, and you just like everything falls as you move forward, just falls by the wayside. But you're right, you get to a point in your life and you're like, man, I mean, those attributes alone will not sustain the human body or the mind.
Yes, yeah. And I was blessed to just start to bump into certain people. So like, I'm still at a young age to be, usually you discover this type of stuff like, when you're like older and you can't, and it's just time for you to discover it. But to actually discover it and be able to still dunk, and be able to still make a hit record, be able to, smash a stage down,
and enjoy success.
To be able to have sex for like 10 hours straight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a, man, I'm in a great place, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I was with you almost all the way there. Have you struggled to enjoy your success throughout the years? I know that as far as the Bad Boy legacy and Puff Daddy and what we see in the movie, it's always been on show and it's always come along for the ride. And this movie is as big as the legacy is. It is a blockbuster of a film. But personally, aside from what we see or what we experience as fans of who you are and what you've built, personally, how do you find success? Do you embrace it wholeheartedly, or are you scared of it? You embrace it?
I embrace it wholeheartedly. This is what I want, and this is what I work hard for. It's the equivalent. I like to just compare it to sports. It's wanting to win that championship, like every year, and move the culture forward. And I feel that between me and the whole Bad Boy family, that we've had a big part in moving the culture forward.
No question.
That really runs the world now. So when we first started making records and started making people dance, and I remember I was the first artist really to have a big record worldwide in Europe with Missing You. All over the world. And so, the first one really going you know, on the road and people seeing me, and then now to see, and I remember, you know, hip hop artists were afraid to really like go overseas. They were like, you know, I don't need to go overseas, and now to see this thing be this global lifestyle that keeps us all connected, you know, this global culture that keeps us all connected, and having some sort of like hand in that in a positive way is a blessing, you know. But the movie also just shows you what life is about. Life is not an easy road. You know, there's been embracing the success, but with the success has come, you know, tragedy, has come death, has come loss, has come dark times, and this movie is about like really making it through all of that and still being a family and still being a man to be able to have the energy after all of that to still be a leader.
You have to really trust the people you collaborate with when you take something as precious as the work that you've built, the legacy that you have, and the relationships that have come along for the ride, the people you've lost, the people you've found. There's a lot of responsibility in the hands of people who are going to make this into something,
Yes.
right? Were there subjects, were there conversations, were there things that were just too tough for you to deal with at this point in your life?
First of all, we never started to make the movie the way it came out, you know.
What was it supposed to be?
You know, I was a big fan of Madonna, Truth or Dare, so it was just
It's gonna
like,
be a tour movie.
Yeah, some cameras on the road. We may talk about ask me 2 or 3 questions, and I gotta like keep it moving. So when everybody came back together, when I'm talking about everybody, I'm talking about the whole Bad Boy family. You're talking about Mace, Little Kim, Faith, you know, Carl Thomas, The Lox, Black Rob. You know, when everybody came together, we never had been on stage at one time. We rarely were ever in one room at one time because it was the success. Everybody was just all over the place.
Yeah, you had them all peppered around the world.
Yeah, so I had them work, and and it's a blessing because they still work. You know, they still work. You know, 3 nights a week, so they're able to take care of their families, and that's great. And that's what it's about. But when they were all there in my face, like we couldn't not deal with the past, the present, and the future.
Unresolved issues, yeah.
Yeah, so the cameras were rolling in a cinematic fashion that wasn't, you know, this is not a documentary, this is a movie. It was meant to be shot as a documentary and turned into a movie. And it's really giving you want more at the end of it, but it gives you a good first, like this is like the first Star Wars.
I wondered about that.
Yeah,
I wonder if it was the first installment.
Yeah, this is the first installment. It says to be continued at the end of the film, but it gives you enough, especially for right now, because it's hard for people to sit in a 2.5-hour movie. So I purposely said, I'll tell this story, but you got to make it, you know, 90 minutes.
Don't know how you did it. I mean, what you achieved over the course of that time with all those artists, and like you said, those unresolved issues, and it's fascinating to watch Faith and Kim back together and work out, like, you know, how is that going to feel, not just for them, but for you?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to go on when Faith and Kim got back together. You know, just dealing with the unresolved issues, you know, like that thing is a very dangerous thing, you know, when you don't deal with issues that's in you, you know, for a long period of your life. And I think that was the beauty of this, that we all got to deal with unresolved issues. We all got to get asked some hard questions, things that we don't talk about. We don't really talk about the East-West thing, or, you know, a lot of times it's intricate things with Biggie and what was really going on. And we just really just got loose and really trusted the process, and trusted, you know, the story as being something that needed to be told as a part of history. Because when you have this thing, hip hop, so huge right now, the historical element of how it got to be so huge starts to become more important. So that's why right now when you have the Tupac movie coming out, you got Defiant Ones with Jimmy and Dre, you got to understand this is the real history and education that a lot of these kids are interested in.
When you watch the final cut of your movie, and I know you've seen the Defiant Ones, and I've seen the Defiant Ones before, it's got a chance to go on. So it's, very much what I love about that is these are companion pieces that tell the same story, which is, do you remember when it used to go that fast?
Yeah.
Do you remember when it was that big? Yeah. Do you remember when it felt like you could achieve anything?
Yeah.
Does it feel that way to you now?
It's, to be honest, it's going to be even bigger. Like, just as far as there's a gift and a curse in anything, and with the streaming and right now with the accessibility, the appetite for music, the appetite for hip hop, is at an all-time high, and the sky's the limit. It's just how the artist in the industry treats the art of it, because right now a lot of people are getting pulled into commerce. And that's kind of dangerous if you're not that perfect combination of art and commerce, or you're just leaning towards more on the art side.
You are art and commerce.
Yeah, I'm art and commerce from day one.
So you understood very quickly that you had equal power in being creative as you did in marketing and in promotion.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, in this day and age, because you're absolutely right, it could get even bigger, but you can't approach music in the same way that you used to, in the sense that, like, you could take a piece of music and you could take your time and you could use the chessboard and position everything, and you could mark it up to a point it was perfectly positioned, and it was a game for you. It is a game for you. You play it almost better than anybody else in the world. Mm-hmm. One of the only other guy I think who holds a candle to you is up in that office up there. And it's not like that anymore, right? It's not tangible like that, the way you market and promote music. I wondered if you were going to start the label now or going to start it now, how you would feel about it now, because it's...
I'd be looking at it now like a T-bone steak after a 10-day fast with some mashed potatoes, some corn, macaroni and cheese, because I know that, I make superstars. I don't, the money's not gonna move me to, I'm just put out this record because the kid's gonna bug out. If I'm making a record, I want it to last forever, I take pride in no matter where I'm at in the world, like, I'm going to get a good half an hour of some Bad Boy, no matter where I'm at, what club, what country, it's in. And that's what it's about, because at the end of the day, only the song survives. So I don't go approach the record industry like the money. I approach it about the song. And how is this song and this artist going to be different and so like ahead of anything that's out there now. So even my last couple of signings that was on the Lowe, whether it was Janelle Monáe or Machine Gun Kelly, these are things that come to fruition, or even French Montana with one of the biggest records in the world. It's about, once I got them to understand the power of the song. And that's something that that is a white space around in all of this noise, So the cream is just going to rise to the top. So it's just the difference in superstars. You're going to have certain, like I really love the new SZA, I think how you say it.
Amazing, the album Control,
SZA
incredible.
album, like the whole approach, like that's where I hope that it's going. That's where I hope even future stuff. That's why I hope Drake's. I just hope that it's going in this direction of just really, really, really high quality music. Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Really high.
You changed the way music sounds. I remember when records would come out, Bad Boy records would come out, and just the sound of the record.
Yeah.
And it always seemed to me that aside from the rap or the singing the performance was important. And sure, big samples, granted, but you would make them sound a certain way. They made other records kind of shy.
Yeah, you have to. I grew up during the time of Dr. Dre and Teddy Riley, so you could not have your
cut
own
corners,
your own sonic sound, your own sonic DNA, and so I was able to. My sonic DNA is really a combination of those two artists with James Brown. You know what I'm saying? So those two producers, with the way James Brown produced, that's like how I was affected, and just back to the culture, right now, I mean, I think the timing is right for these movies to come out because I think it's going to make the people that are making music, it's going to give them that connection that they wasn't able to get, you know? Because they wasn't able to live in that time, but it give them that connection somehow. You know, I maybe didn't live in the time of when they were doing Gone with the Wind or Fred Astaire, but when I look at it, it makes me appreciate the level of discipline or the level of just star that they're at, and to always make sure that I'm moving my brand in that direction. And I'm starting to just see like the more artists are getting the information, the more that they're starting to create their brands and really take from what I was able to do and what Jimmy and Dre was able to do. So when you look at a Travis Scott from where he started to the way now he's building his touring brand, his fashion brand, and so on, there had to be people to come before him to do that, just like there were people that came before me, Russell and Berry Gordy and Andre, you know, and Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just think it's a very exciting time in music, and music is now going from, you know, I'm dropping an album this year and I'm talking to you to no, I'm dropping a movie this year. And I just think that that's how big, you know, our stars and our culture is getting. And I think that this Can't Stop, Won't Stop movie is important because it's not self-serving, it's not about me, it's not like a puff piece about me. It's just if you're thinking about getting in this industry, if you ever looked up to us, if you ever wondered what really went on, not just from the historical level, because even on the Defiant ones, it's more peak in and it's on the historical level. This is dropping you right in the middle of the game.
Right now.
Right in the middle of the action. Right now, present day, but dealing with all of the other stuff, but you're getting to see the behind the scenes of how things get done.
So you're dropping an album this year?
No. If Future's dropping 2 albums in one day, I got to leave that alone, man. I got to go to the big screen. Future, you can have the 2 albums. I'm gonna go to the big screen.
Are you in the studio?
Yeah, I'm back in the studio because it was I had 3 operations this year, and
Knee?
Yeah, I had a 2 knee operations, and it started from running the marathon and running myself down, not taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my knee went, and so I got a bionic knee, and I had a torn rotator cuff. And yeah, I know I'm getting a little older, but it's like, you know, at the same time, it was like a lot. And during that time, I wasn't able to go to the studio. My vibration and my energy was down. So now, you know, going to the studio is not just about making records for me. Like, I have to go and be around music in order to feed my soul, feed my spirit. And so I'm able to do that without the stress of anything. And, you know, so there's been some interesting records, and it just may, you know, I may just release things in a different way. And
are you rethinking the idea of No Way Out 2 being your final album? Are you rethinking how that made that statement?
Yeah. I'm gonna say that No Way Out 2, I was working on that being my final album, and I got hit with some life issues. You know, when I got injured, like I really couldn't walk.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, my knee was cut out, and so I have a bionic knee in there.
Yeah.
And so I had to reteach myself how to walk. So like my priorities had to be on my health.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't, you know, even pick up my kids because of my shoulder. And it was like, it was God sitting me down and slowing me down. So whatever's supposed to happen, I'm more like going with the flow right now. And if that's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen. And, you know, and if not, my legacy of music is, I'm so happy where it's at. And the tour really helped me to really kind of close the chapter if I want it closed, because it's hard to like close the chapter. It's hard to be like, you know, it's just really, really hard to
put a ribbon on anything for you.
Put a ribbon on it. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody that's playing ball or football around the world, or, you know, anybody.
But, you know, you found yourself in a situation whereby there's so many more opportunities for you to go and do other things and try other things. And, you know, your success speaks for itself. You know, there's a lot of focus right now on your wealth because, you know, once again, you're the highest earning person in the entertainment industry over the last 12 months, which is a huge achievement, having had success for so long. And also further emphasis on how you built brands around you. How do you manage a portfolio that's so varied like this and are able to still be a family man and still be a father and still be a dedicated human being on a personal front?
For me, I had to really give up power. I had to realize that my future, and I'm speaking to anybody out here that that is extremely talented, extremely smart, hardworking, like myself. Watch this movie. If you feel like you have what I feel is in me, that's what I've transitioned to. I've transitioned from, wanting to be on the stage to wanting to be the stage, to wanting to be, a platform. And so I know that my future really depends on the people that I empower. Because I still have more that I could do myself, but I've really done as much as I could do as like, one person and one entity. So now my focus is, how people would sign an artist. Like my focus is I'm trying to sign a graphic designer like
Smart
that.
people.
I'm trying to sign smart people. I'm trying to just is Biggie. I'm trying to find the Biggie of marketing, the Biggie of so it's really, it's really expanded for me, not just about hit records. It's about hit culture. And so that's what I specialize in, and that's what I will grow up to do, to not play the child's game, but to be an actual owner of a part of the child's game, and to be somebody that is doing it in the right way, that's gonna help to raise children to be adults and wealthy adults.
You mentioned Biggie. There's some really poignant moments in Can't Stop, Won't Stop, where you talk about your friend and how obviously it just goes without saying the tragedy that surrounded his passing, his death, and the incredible music that he left behind. Too little of it, but incredible and life-changing nonetheless. To go and to reflect on his legacy again, because I think about that time and I think what happened was, he passed away, and I remember I went to the press conference when you announced, "I'll be missing you" in New York at the Hard Rock. And I was there covering it for a New Zealand magazine at the time. And the feeling I got at that time was that you were like, I got to deal with this in my own time, but right now I just have to go. I have to go. I have to get on stage, I have to get on a plane, I have to go play these songs, I have to carry on. And it was insatiable for you. Reflecting on Biggie now in this documentary, did new memories come back, new feelings, new emotions?
Yeah. During that time, I had to go, but I was going with only 25% of the spirit that I had. So I was like a changed person, and a lot of stuff that I had made before then. And so even my sound changed after that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as glorious and it wasn't as joyful and it wasn't as bright and exuberant because you're a reflection of what's going on inside of you. But I was still able to kind of push through and succeed and make it by just being honest and being vulnerable. So whether it was that or if I broke up with my girlfriend, I need a girl, or whatever the record was, Bad Boy for Life, I'm just getting off trial. Whatever was coming at me, I just tried to embrace it in that way. But through this whole process, it made me deal with, like, I'm very good at suppressing things. I could push something down to, like, it will never come up. I'll leave this earth, we never had to deal with it, And but it made me deal with it. And I just was just like, I gotta like really forgive myself in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Because, I take things, this is my artist, you know what I'm saying? This is life. He signed a Bad Boy, like he lost his life. He has kids, like, I didn't get him in this to be into this situation, to lose his life. And it just wasn't the same without him. And I didn't let it be anything different. I stayed in like a Messiah complex type of thing, and I stayed like, I'm gonna just carry this luggage around. And then when I was going through this, it was just like, man, I mean, it's been like a long time. You gotta like, you have to, nobody really knows, or people could probably know, but you have to like, let this go. And you have to shine. You gotta live for your kids. You gotta live for him. You gotta live for his kids. And then, even in this process, I would say there was just one moment that really just lifted, I would say like 90% of the stuff up off of me, was when we just did the Billboard Awards and Biggie's son came out to present the award with me. And to see like this young man that looks and acts just like Biggie grow up, be so mannerable, be so focused on like his stuff as an actor. Like I'm just like, everything kind of worked out all right. You know what I'm saying? Everything, this was God's will, but everything, I just got off the phone with Big's mother. I see his son coming down there. Like, man, start to get back to that spirit of you, or get your new spirit on. And it was helpful, because that's how sometimes you deal with tragedy. You'll take it on, and that thing you'll be wearing that thing like a coat forever, And so I just had to so this movie is the movie and this time and just where I'm at in life with my kids and just how I feel as a person. I'm trying to share that with the world, Anything that I could show people that of these life challenges that you're gonna get. Like we talking about No Way Out. It was like I got hit with some life challenges. I had I didn't know I was gonna need a new knee, a shoulder, all of that type of stuff. So it's like you have to deal with things, but try your best to never lose your spirit. Try to really, really protect that. And and so that's the page that I'm on. And just seeing his son walk out, I was able to just breathe again.
There's a scene in the movie where Harvey's on the phone to Craig Mack. Now, for everybody who doesn't know, Craig Mack is an instrumental cornerstone in the success of Bad Boy,
yes.
Because Flavor in Your Ear spread around the world like crazy. That record, that sound, the spookiness of that slowed down trumpet, the whole the thump, the swing of the beat, his voice, the fact he sounded like he was tripping over himself when he was rapping.
Yeah.
The whole thing was so fresh. And I think, and he had a couple of other records and he had some moments, but even if that was the only moment, what an important moment. Now, we all wanted that moment. I wanted to hear that on the stage. I wanted that moment. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, Harv was talking to him, and what I say in the movie is the stuff that we have been through, the only place you're gonna go is God or crazy, And it was so much. It wasn't like right now there's 100, 200 artists that's popping. It was just us and Death Row. It was just it was all down to 10 people. 10 people actually ran the whole world of hip hop. And it was just a lot of pressure for some people. And it really, that pressure really started to break people, And you see it happening all the time. You see people that come out, you're like, well, why haven't I heard an album from this person? Why haven't I heard an album from that person? And it's they're human beings, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you think you're ready for this amount of pressure, but then it's something that pushes you towards the only thing that can help you. And so
He chose not to go crazy.
He chose not to go crazy. He chose to get right with God, and he chose I'm not going to take, that may not be good for me. And I have to respect that. That may have me thinking about that other life. I may like that feeling and lose my focus on God and want to do more concerts and be in that environment. Some people can't be in that. Some people can't be in both worlds, It's very, very hard. And the only way I'm able to do it is because I take God with me wherever I go.
But you have a very, very specific approach to life. And we've seen the videos you've been putting on your Instagram lately of you when you were in your office or when you were addressing the staff at the height of all this.
Yes.
And this just ambition, this drive, and we've seen the way that it affects the people that you care about the most professionally too. L'Oreal, people who you work with who are just okay, I've got to achieve this for Puff. I've got to achieve this for him.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at the height of that, when you're at your most manic and you're most driving and you're just this has to happen. Did you ever think about the impact it was having on other people, or was it a single focused drive to achieve? And if you got to be on board,
I was a machine. I wasn't a human in those times as far as the aspect of that. I had to take the personal out of it because I felt like there was a bigger picture. I felt like it was bigger than us that was there.
Bigger than you.
Yeah, it was bigger than me. When I look at what it is now, this is it just is what it is. After Bad Boy came and after Death Row came. The way hip hop was perceived and the value of it, the whole game of it changed. And you know, I just think like I kind of like always took that on. Because I wasn't just an artist. I was an executive. So I was knowing the importance of when I first started. I didn't even see no black people.
You felt like you were marketing culture and marketing hip hop as a whole.
Yeah, but also as also everybody can't rap. Everybody can't sing. So I wanted to be able to show the other side, that you could be behind the camera, you could be behind the mic giving the interview, you could build your brand. So everything that I was doing was so more important than just a hit record. Even though when I'm in the studio, my allegiance is to the hit record. My allegiance was just to the future of all hustlers and entrepreneurs out there. So I was like, we have to get this win, not for us. It wasn't no money. It wasn't no number one spot. It was just like, the opportunity we have right now. 5 years ago, there was nobody that looked like y'all. There was no staff like this of young African Americans and some white people and some Asians, some multicultural. It wasn't like that. And it was just like, we have to be as good as the best, and even better. And so you see that drive and that determination, and you see that I would say that joy. There's a joy that you see that's in it, even though it's a sternness and it's like, we have to win. There's also something in there that's just like, if y'all trust me, like, you know, and we get, and this gets successful, and we don't stop because somebody threw an obstacle in front of us. When y'all get to that point, y'all gonna see it was all worth it.
There were some points along the way where you must have questioned that yourself. I mean, the moments in the movie that have to be addressed, but also the parts that were well known. I mean, there must have been moments when you felt like, for all the success, for all the fame, for all of the achievement, for all the things that made you feel spiritually and on the inside, that maybe you were flying too close to the sun.
Yeah, I've been flying close to the sun for a long time, you know. It's just, I mean, God spared me, you know. I was the one that would go first, you know. If they said, like, somebody gotta go fly close to the sun, I raised my hand and I'd go up there. So I just thank God that, you know, different things brought me back down. You know, different things brought me back down to earth, because, I mean, I was crazy during that time. I was crazy. I'm not giving a disclaimer or nothing like that, but I just, you know, it was the first time for that level of success to people. There was nobody that I could look at and say, okay, well, let me call them. Let's see how they handle when they got successful, or they made their first whatever million or whatever. Let's see how they handle it. I was just coming from nothing really and going trial and error. And then also I was like crazy at times. I was souped up. I was, you know, arrogant. I was an asshole. I was things that were just not being, you know, also grown enough to really care about feelings, even though I was a machine. I had to learn that even though I'm a machine, at a certain point when I'm in the game, that the other people are human beings, and I could get more out of people by understanding that they're human beings and showing them that they can be something greater and take it out the box of a machine, but that we could be supernatural. And so once I tapped into that, once I tapped into the vibration of like, I just want to bring out the best in you, then that's the era I'm in now, you know what I'm saying? And that's when the whole thing changed, and that's when, you know, we did this movie to show you this part, but you know, we actually living out the next installment.
Which of your artists, historically, is the best at saying no to you, or the best at making you see reason? Which one gets your ear like that? Who can stop you? Who can pump your brakes? Even just a bit.
See, the artist, I always pump my brakes with the artist. I've always been very respectful of the artist, you know? And I would probably say I was harder on maybe like staff members and just wanting us to get to this point. But all the artists made me pump my brakes. They all had their own point of view, and they all was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like they were, you know, they looked at themselves as artists, and there were things that they would say no to, things they wouldn't want to do. It wasn't like, you know, everybody just did what I said. You know, it wasn't, you know, if I needed it to get done, I'd be able to, you know, step up and say, nah, we have to do this. But I was very respectful of like.
But it's for you as much as it's for you more than anything. This is in your best interest. Trust me to get this over the line.
I think I had that trust because it was just like I rarely made a bad call.
But that's testament to you as a creative, and I think that's what makes this situation, this movie, so unique. Is we see documentaries about great executives. Mm-hmm. We see great documentaries about great creatives. We don't often see documentaries about both, where you're able to pull a tour like that together, bring the family back together, sell out arenas, take it around the world, and be the headliner. It's just crazy. Like, it's crazy.
I think if anything, it kind of humanizes all of us, and because that's what we are at the end of the day. You know, we're whether we're great at what we do, a great story has to have heart. And so this movie it tells you some different things you didn't know and gets deeper into some things, but
it's heartwarming, really.
It has heart. You know what I'm saying? It's about us being humans. It's stripped down. It ain't you ain't gonna see a lot of bling. You know what I'm saying? It's stripped down. There's haircuts is up. People are working. Eyes are red.
There's a great scene with you and Mace where you're just like, nah, man, we're going out as is.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna don't worry. This isn't 1998. I ain't sending you to the gym. It's cool. We're going out as we are.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
I love that. You have a special relationship with him, and also he has a special relationship with us because you won't find anybody who knows what you or Bad Boy or Mace do that don't look at Mace as like a golden child.
Yeah.
Like, what is it about that guy, and what was it like when you first met him? What is it, man? You're inside with these artists.
I would say. Like you know, Mace is the one that has me. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like you have somebody in the family that could pull at you and pull you in different directions. Mace could just have me just like going crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's you know, he's such a great partner, and you know, without him, I wouldn't have been able to live out my dream as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Because he taught me so much, and we was on the same page, and we came together.
He came to you like in some respects, and I don't want to overcook this, so I'll use this word, aware of the connotation. But there was an angel element to this because at that time you needed an artist to be able to. You are a collaborator. Like of course you're a star in your own, but you're a collaborator.
Yeah.
You needed someone to be able to bounce off and have that energy with, and you just lost your best friend at that time.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely was an angel, but it was angels with an S because they all surrounded me, and we surrounded each other, and that's special. You know what I'm saying? That right there is special. People break up and it's over with. People in the music industry, they break up, they go their separate ways. We never broke up. We never, no matter what was reported, would have our little business things that we had to take care of, the locks with some publishing stuff, or there was something over here, whatever it was, just regular business stuff that happens in the music industry, nothing malicious on either part. But we never, even still, we would almost have a fight and then be talking 10 minutes later. We were like true family, you know what I'm saying? So the way anybody else was perceiving it, you know, was, you know, could have been something different. But the thing was that when I called for everybody to come back, they came back. You know, it wasn't a problem. We were all on speaking terms. We all, you know, stayed in contact, and we'll be the Bad Boy family forever. And there'll only be one Bad Boy family.
You seem to be able to relate to and collaborate very well with female artists.
Yes.
And I'd imagine that a certain amount of that, if not all of it, stems from your unique relationship with your mother.
Yes. So from Mary to Faith, to Little Kim,
Total.
to Mariah, to Total. You know, I would say, you know, that's a lot of special Black woman experiences. You know what I'm saying? That you have to really, you know, really figure out how to deal with or get your point across. Because these are very super intelligent women. They're not just saying, you're not just like, here, just follow me and we're gonna go. You know, there's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to explain yourself.
These are strong artists.
Strong artists and strong-willed individuals. But beautiful people and people that are special voices and people that will go into the Hall of Fame. You know?
What do you think was a defining part of that equation?
I'm such a like helpless romantic and I'm like very sensitive, you know? And, you know, I was raised by two women. You know, I wasn't raised by, you know, a man. I had to my mother had to become, and grandmother had to become the man, and then, then I just had to step in and figure it out. So I relate to that level of vulnerability. I relate to that, if your guard is up, you could trust me with your feelings, so you could sing it like this. You could sing it like it really hurts. You're gonna be all right, I got your back. I'm out here, and I got your back. And then so when you hear a lot of the songs, you could hear the honesty in the songs that is very unique in the production and in the collaboration. And when you find a producer that you could trust your feelings with, then your true feelings could come out. And if you're telling the truth, that's when you're making classics. If you're telling the truth and you're telling it in that deep, real deep down gut way of just like laying on the bathroom floor crying, or just like, or just like dancing around because you're in love, or whatever that thing is that gets you going emotionally. If you're able to have people on the same page that you feel comfortable with doing that, and they can help bring that out of you, then you get greatness. But when you got a studio of a bunch of people like just smoking weed and drinking and rolling their eyes because you're making a mistake, you're not making greatness. Missy said it the best. She was like, if it was a bunch of people in the studio, we would have never had Michael Jackson's Thriller. Because somebody would have been in the back smoking a joint.
Distracting, yeah.
What you talking about, Michael? He. What's that? What's wrong with you, B? You know what I'm saying?
What makes a hit record? How do you know it's a hit?
It's a feeling. Yeah, it has to take you. I'm talking about a real hit. I'm not talking about like a radio hit or something that's coming.
No, like a hit that we still listen to today with the same passion we listen to.
When you hear that thing, it's no questioning it. It's no question. It's just like, it's no question.
Do you have a favorite memory of being in the studio working with an artist? And I know that it's hard to pick amongst your favorites and everything else. I get that, but I have favorite interviews. I have favorite moments, favorite questions, favorite times in life. Do you have a moment when it all came together and what's the first one that springs to mind?
Me and Mary, and I just broke up with my girlfriend. She just broke up with Casey, and it's raining. We're in the Hit Factory in New York, and we both keep on going to the bathroom because we don't want to cry in front of each other.
Right.
But we both know like we crying. We were trying to act like I can't tell, like your eyes are all red and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just like we connected, and we was just like, we just gotta pour it into this song, man. And I remember we stayed up maybe like 2 days, just writing some of the best records on my life. And it was just, that's when it connected, you know what I'm saying? A whole deeper level of making records. Once you tell the embarrassing truth, once you get naked with your emotions, like the stuff you don't want people to hear or feel or whatever, and then that changes your game on what you think a hit record is,
Mm-hmm. The movie is a triumph, man. It really is. And I think people are going to absolutely love it, especially anybody who's ever been touched by Bad Boy, by the records, by the shows, by the volume and the size of it.
Or even anybody right now that asks, as you brought up, there's sometimes an elephant in the room as far as the Forbes #1 whatever list. It's important to tie that to that to the movie and like what it really takes to be able to get to that point. Because let's not lie. I always prayed I would win the lottery, or I always prayed I would be able to make enough money for my family. It was never really about that, but at the same time, that's another piece of it. That people baggage that you may carry around when people look at you and you walk into a room, and this movie puts it in perspective of that's a number, and that's truly a blessing, and I accept every dollar of it. You understand? With no apologies. And that's for everybody that's ever been broke. I remember I woke up with some roaches all over my face.
Yeah.
Roaches all over my face during the heat wave. Staying with my aunt, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be, this is not the way I'm gonna be living. So I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna work and I'm gonna get it. And if you're about that life, this is the movie for you. If you're not about that life, I don't know, you may want to, watch Wonder Woman or something. No disrespect.
It's supposed to be great.
I know it's great. That's what I'm trying to tell you, to watch a dope movie.
I'm going to go check it out.
And it's empowering.
Apparently it's incredible.
Yeah.
You sold half for Sean John. Half? Just half? Just
no,
under half? More than half?
Yeah, more. It was more than half. It was like 68%.
All right, that's a consolidation move. And so I guess the question is, for someone like yourself, is what are you, 47 now?
Yes.
Man, that's crazy what you've achieved. You're 4 years older than me, you puff.
Love me, baby. Love me. I'm just paving the way for you. That's all.
I love you, man. So that's a consolidation move. So where does that energy go? Because I know that you're not consolidating your empire in order to put your feet up.
I definitely no. I mean, I'm looking for people to run my empire, and I'm looking for people to invest in to start their own empires. I'm not trying to kill myself to make some money that I can't take with me.
So the Billy's off the table.
No, the Billy it's
Never off the table.
Nah, I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't stop certain things that's already left the station. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna be out here, and I'm still gonna do my best, and I'm still gonna service this culture to the most aspirational, flyest level.
Yes.
I'm not selling nothing cheap to my people. I'm selling these experiences, these moments, these dreams, these feelings, and this inspiration, and I'm giving it all back. That's the beauty of it. I want to be the person that gives the most money away, and so I've actually sat down and did the math on if I work myself to the bone to 60, 65, whatever. Will I make? Will the money, or will that make a difference? And I'm not gonna not enjoy this life that God has blessed me. I'm not gonna not enjoy my family.
I was gonna say, has this come as a relief to your family? Because they've watched you fight.
Yeah, it's come to a relief to my family. But to be honest, it's going to get even bigger, because my purpose, is going to come clear.
Yeah.
What God sent me, God didn't send me here to be number one on the. I mean, He sent me to do that so it can inspire people. But He didn't send me here about money, or just about. He sent me here to do something greater than I've done. And I've done been blessed to do a lot of great things. But there's just bigger things for me on the horizon. And it may not just be trying to chase a dollar or chase a hit record. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be changing some lives and believing in some people and for the greater good, and it being more about them than it is about me.
So your son comes home, and he's signed a Bad Boy. And your son comes home, and you see that look in his eyes that you had, because it's DNA. And he sees that drive and that ambition, and he sees that all-consuming aspirational level of just like manifestation. I'm going to go and achieve it all, yada, yada, yada. And you've come out the other side of that and realized at 47, young enough to know that there is other parts of life, and you're going off into a different sunset. Can you let him go, or do you try and guide him a little bit this way?
No, I've totally retreated back to the machine. And I'm so hard on them because I gotta protect them, and that's the only way I know to really protect people, is hit them with the truth, and so it's my son. So with another person, I would try another approach, but it would be it's the softer approach. It's the softer approach. With my son, if you want to make somebody the greatest, you're not going to really just be hitting them with the softer approach, because you're not going to last out here like that. You're just going to end up, God or crazy. And so keep God with you. Let's not go crazy, but we got to get busy and go to work. And just because you have my DNA in you, that don't mean nothing.
But you're still dad.
I'm dad. But when it comes time to them wanting to get into this industry, if they want my help, they have to take. So they're getting that old school type of coaching. They're getting that Joe Jackson type of coaching right now, and mixed in with a little bit of more human type of expression. You know what I'm saying? But no, what I'm saying is that I'm preparing them. As a father, I have to prepare them for what I faced, and so that's exciting to me, to see my kids being able to live out their dreams, and me to be able to be there to not tell them what to do, but to try to teach them. That's what raising a child is about. You know what I'm saying? Try to teach them what I've learned so you don't have to go through everything that I've learned.
You're 47, man. It's unbelievable to think that, you finally taken the chance to reflect. Whatever led you to this point, where the tour led to the movie and the movie led to this point where you're like, all right, man, I don't have to end it, but I have to put that box to one side, start open a new box.
Yes.
Respect to you.
Yeah, thank you. But I give all glory to God that, he started to give me that clarity. And I'm a work in progress. I got a long way to go. I'm not sitting here like I'm not Russell. I don't do no yoga yet. I still, I still got a bunch of different types of to me. I don't know who's going to wake up in the morning.
I was going to say, you still got the rage? You still got that ambition, that drive? You still got those demons that push you in that direction?
I wouldn't say demons. I still have that passion. I still have that passion for anything I'm going to do. It's just right now, I have quality control on what gets my passion. So whatever I do, I'm going to go all out. So right now, it's this movie, and I'm going all out to promote it and going all out to market it. And then, in a perfect world, I could spend some time just really figuring out, and spending time with God and working still, but just really, really looking for what that purpose is,
Movie or no movie, man. I would love to have another conversation with you at some point, another stage in your life.
Let's do it.
Because I think that, you've lived the most fascinating life, and I think that your flaws and your victories are intricately linked. Mm-hmm. And I think that the way you presented yourself through your music and through your business, reaching for the stars, but also being unafraid to put it all on display even when it's not great, that's a true human's tale.
Yeah, like for me, even if you don't, remember my name, remember my hustle, and have it inspire you, that's I know I came to do that, and I see a whole generation of hustlers out there, whether they hustling, on social media, whether they independent artists, and I take a lot of pride in where the game is at right now, and just our worth as a hip hop culture. Somebody had to set the number.
Somebody had to put on the shiny suits and get in the anti-gravity tank.
Had to.
Someone had to do that.
Somebody had to put their ego in their pocket.
Someone had to sacrifice your knee for this game. Someone had to leave some body part behind.
Oh, man, no doubt. But I want to tell everybody out there.
Here it comes.
Beats One, everybody out there worldwide in Beats One land, please see this movie. I'm really asking y'all to see it. And it's not even about making no money. It's not like we're trying to put it in the theaters and break a box office record or anything. We just want people to see it and get in perspective what this culture is about, and seeing it from the perspective of Bad Boy. And make sure that you on the 25th, June 25th, Apple Music, you just go and you watch the movie, and on your phone, wherever it is, just turn the lights off and get ready for a ride and get ready to be inspired. And then it's going to be on Apple TV, iTunes on July 7th. And so I just really want to thank everybody at Apple, Apple Music and Beats One. And thank you, Zane, for giving me the platform to talk about the film. And
anytime and every time.
I want everybody to see it. And thanks to everybody that ever supported anything that I've done. Please know that I've done what I do for the greater good. And I'm not going to let y'all down in the end, that, we're going to do some amazing things with the power that y'all blessed me with. Thank you.
No one does it like you, man.
All right, brother.
Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Take care of yourself.